Hello, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining us on YouTube. My name is Tyler Ford, and I'm a family development specialist with Catholic Charities of Kansas City and St. Joseph. I'm on the Children and Families Services team, and today we're coming to you with a very important topic about car seat safety. Here's an overview, and we'll dive right in because it's a large topic, and a lot of parents have reported to us that there's a lot of confusion, and it can be overwhelming sometimes learning what to do at certain stages in their child's growth and development. So an overview is that car seats and boosters provide protection for infants and children in the event of a car crash. Yet car crashes are the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 3. And that's why it's important to choose and use the right car seat correctly every time your child is in the car. There are positive statistics here, and I love to start with that. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported that in the year of 2017 alone, at least 325 children under the age of 5 were saved by car seats, and that is properly installed car seats utilized at the proper time for the child's age and weight. So all we have to do is follow these important steps, choose the right seat, utilize the resources that are available to us to do so, and that'll help keep our kids safe. The Missouri child restraint laws read as follows. Children less than 4 years old or less than 40 pounds must be in an appropriate car seat. Must be in an appropriate child safety seat. Children ages 4 through 7 who weigh at least 40 pounds must be in an appropriate child safety seat or booster seat, unless they're 80 pounds or 4'9" tall. At 80 pounds and 4'9" tall, or usually between ages 9 and 11, that's when children are okay to be using a lap belt with a shoulder belt and just be using that regular safety belt in your car or seat belt. Children, again, ages 8 or over 80 pounds and at least 4'9" tall are required to be secured by a safety belt or can still be buckled into a booster seat if you have it. It increases the possibility for children to be a little safer if they stay in a booster seat for longer, but that's your personal choice at that point. A few exemptions are school buses with school-age children 4 and above and that can seat at least 11 passengers are exempt to this kind of law. And also some public transportation, taxis, Uber, Lyft, they have some exemptions. Also, if you have more children in your immediate family than existing seating positions, that's when you're able to place the child that's not able to be restrained properly in the back seat if there is a back seat in that car. Otherwise, the front seat is appropriate. That's an odd exemption, but I want to share that. And then also, if the back seat only has a lap belt, then there should not be a booster seat used with only a lap belt and not the shoulder belt. So booster seats secured by a lap belt, not okay. It's just best to use the safety belt at that point. And that's an exemption to the law. And the CDC reports that this problem is large in scope because in the United States alone, motor vehicle crashes are a leading cause of death among children. In 2018, 636 children 12 years old or younger died in motor vehicle crashes, and more than 97,000 were injured. So that's over 100,000 children that were injured due to improper safety belt use, and almost 700 that resulted in fatality. Of those children 12 years old and younger who died in a crash for which restraint use was known during this survey, 33% were not buckled up. So over a third of the children were not buckled up. And of course, that increases the risk of fatality and injury exponentially. Parents and caregivers can make a life-saving difference here, and it's our responsibility to ensure that we are well educated enough to properly restrain our children over the road. Some of the risk factors are like changing cars often and relocating car seats from car to car. You want to make sure the anchors are in place every single time, that the seat belts are tight, and that the car seat cannot move more than 1 inch from side to side. Also, something that's common is children being put in car seats wearing bulky items. This restricts the safety ability of the belting system and can eventually lead to children experiencing heat exhaustion or things of that nature from being put into a car seat with too many clothes on. So it's never okay to leave a child in the car seat. I know we all know that. But if there's no adults in the vehicle, you should not leave the vehicle even to unlock the front door or anything like that. Also, switching from rear facing to forward facing too soon is a large risk factor that we see quite often. Children may be happier facing forward at younger ages, but the fact of the matter is, it is much safer for them to stay rear facing until that car seat or manufacturer's specified weight or height. See if there's anything else. Oh, just like helmets, if it's been in a car crash, you wouldn't know. So purchasing secondhand car seats is not suggested, especially by Missouri Department of Transportation and the CDC. So purchasing or receiving new car seats is the recommendation. And there's agencies and even Missouri Department of Transportation, MoDOT, that provide free car seats to parents who need them. And there's programs that can assist with purchases, at least to some degree. So restraint use among young children often depends upon the driver's seatbelt use. Almost 40% of children riding with unbelted drivers were also unrestrained. Just a reminder, as parents, we lead by example for our kids. Risk reduction. The CDC reports that buckling children in age and size appropriate car seats, booster seats, and seat belts reduces the risk of serious and fatal injuries. And by how much, you might ask? Car seat use reduces the risk for injury in a crash by 71 to 82% for children. When compared with seatbelt use alone, booster seats can reduce the risk of injury, serious injury, by 45% for children age 4 to 8 when compared to seatbelt use alone. So that's a huge percentage of increased safety from just the seatbelt to the booster and from the booster to the car seat. For other children and adults, seatbelt use reduces the risk for death and serious injury by approximately half. Also huge. Always be restrained in a vehicle, yourself and all children. There's a large call to preventing motor vehicle injuries in children, and here's how the CDC looks at it. A study of 5 states that increased the age requirement to 7 or 8 years for car seat and booster seats use found that the rate of children using car seats and booster seats increased by 3 times, and the rate of children sustaining fatal injuries or incapacitating injuries from car crashes decreased by 17%. So that's huge. And that's why until age 8 or so, it's best to keep a child in their car or in their booster, and if even after that, it increases safety to leave them in the booster for a little while after that. We'll go to a few little guidelines here, and I just want to touch on some simple facts here about 4 different types of car seats that you want to become familiar with. So first is rear-facing car seats, and this is usually for children birth until ages 2 to 4, usually, depends on each child. They buckle children in a rear-facing position until they reach the maximum weight or height limit of that car seat. So it's important to read the stickers on the side of the car seat, every little thing from the notice that if the base of the car seat is not level onto the seating cushion, then perhaps you need to roll up a towel or blanket to place underneath the car seat in order to keep it properly restrained and not able to move 1 inch side to side or in any direction. So they need to be tight. And onto the second kind of car seat is going to be forward-facing car seats. And as I talked about, it's seen often that rear-facing is switched too often to forward-facing, so it's recommended that we keep our children rear-facing for as long as possible. It's much safer, but never put a child's car seat rear-facing where there's an airbag directly behind the child. That's key. It can increase chances for suffocation and severe injury as airbags exude such immense force coming out. For forward-facing car seats, as I talked about, after ongoing rear-facing car seats and until at least age 5, usually we're using forward-facing car seats. You'll want to look into your manufacturer's specific age and weight range for when they should transition to the next level of child restraint, which is booster seat. Less restrictive, but after outgrowing forward-facing car seats and until seat belts fit properly, a booster seat may be used. Proper seatbelt use fit usually occurs when children are 4 feet 9 inches tall and age 9 to 12. We also talked about 80 pounds or above. So at that point, you can transition the child to seatbelts, just like we use. And once that fits properly, a child no longer needs to use a booster seat once a seatbelt fits them properly. It's important, of course, height, that the seatbelt lays on them just right. And you can find more information on this at mo./safety. So there's the 4 types, and it's really important to get to know those and get to know the specific weight and height restrictions for your particular car seat. All right, pedaling back here, there's a few helpful information points that I want to cover, and to talk about the latching system, because it's very important that use the seatbelt in your car or the latch system to hold it in place. Always use the top tether anchor on forward-facing car seats. It's really important to utilize those anchor systems, and I'm referring to a brochure from noodlesoup.com, which you can also access at any point. The car seat should not move more than 1 inch at the belt's path, as I mentioned earlier. Some cars need a locking clip, and that's really important. I want to say that you'll want to look this up for your car specifically if it needs a locking clip that fits over the car seat's belt to hold the seat belt in place. So that's so that the seat belt does not slip in and out, loosen during driving, and it's just key so that the car seat doesn't move 1 inch any direction, and it keeps it really in place. Experts advise the use of new car seats, and be sure the seat will fit properly and easily in your car. Try installing it before you pay for it if possible. And I'm going to show you a few resources around the area and provide you with some names and numbers. So let me share my screen with you, and we're going to go to let's see, the 2018 updated Safe Kids Coalition list, which shows people that are on this coalition that you can contact and receive more information about car seat safety, people who can help you install them, folks who can check your installation for you. Fire departments are a local resource that I always recommend reaching out to first. And I believe that my screen is sharing, so let's go right ahead into here. So for the state of Missouri, I just want to go down here and provide this contact information. It's going to be Leisha Peterson, and there's a phone number listed right here. And if you contact that number for all counties in Missouri, she will direct you to your specific contact person that can help you increase the resources for you properly using your car seat restraint system. As you can see, there's a list of names. I'll scroll here, and if needed, you may pause this video, capture this information, and use it for later on. And then there is the last part of it, covering all counties in Missouri. It's a very helpful resource, and I've checked, and the contacts are up to date for this. So please reach out if you need any additional information on locations that can help you with your installation or check your installation of the car seat. All right, I'm going to go right ahead into another resource for you. And these are extremely helpful for parents trying to find the right car seat and making sure that it's a proper car seat before purchase. So here we've got safekids.org. As you can see, it's a very easy to use, helpful website that basically gives you tips for your child, basic tips in general, and allows you to put in your child's information, including their weight, their birth date, and it will give you some basic information on how to buy, install, select the right fit, and when to change car seats. Extremely helpful. Here's another resource that does the same thing, but goes in a little more depth. So let me see here. It's going to be the website, which is nhtsa.gov, and that is for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They have a tool where you can also type in your child's information right here and find the proper car seat for your child. And it's just very helpful. So please utilize this and share with anybody you know, especially new parents. These folks really need the help, as it's not such a common topic for them, and even parents that have children with large gaps in their spacing, getting back into this can be overwhelming for them. So let's educate each other. These resources are key, and I'm going to make sure that there's a few other things I'd like to cover. So we've covered finding the right seat for your child and offered 2 resources. One of them was safekids.org. The other was NHTSA's government website. There's also some guidelines for parents and caregivers that you can refer to. And I'm going to quickly look through, and at the very end, probably share my screen again just to make sure and give all the resources that we can. These resources have been checked out, and they're all up to date and provide great information for parents. For centers that check for car seat install, check at your local fire departments, as I said. And you can also access that 2018 Safe Kids Coalition list. That's on the MoDOT website as well. If you need to go to MoDOT, you'll be able to find that on their page. A few other very helpful websites are kidsandcars.org. And in closing, before I share my screen and show you a few other websites, is lastly, if you see the improper use of a car seat, my hopes is that it signals that person may need some more education on the newest or updated safe practices for car seat usage. So please refer friends, family, new parents, and especially parents-to-be to helpful and trusted information like what we've covered so far today. You can feel free to share this video with anybody. We would be happy if you did. And I want to offer that in many cases, parents are not fully informed on today's proper car seat use. So in a time where it's socially appropriate and kind of part of the social norm to judge or punish, condemning others for making mistakes, and especially something like this, which can be a fatal error, of course, I first want to suggest just offering education and assistance and maybe a better understanding, if you have it, with those folks, because that goes a lot farther into transitioning safety to children over the road. If you're able to lend education or understanding to somebody as opposed to criticizing them, well, then you're letting them into the know, and you're allowing them truly to empower themselves to keep their children safe. So we can ripple good resources to others in hopes that more children are protected and do not fall victim to becoming a roadway statistic. Also, I'm going to share my screen here at the end and say goodbye to you guys. But before I share my screen, I just want to say it was very great to be here today, and thank you so much for joining us. Let me get you right over into screen share. And again, these are some resources that are crucial, not to bombard anybody, but overall, these right here, if needed, you can pause at this area. We covered these 4 types of car seats. I wanted to offer a visual aid for you. So there's rear-facing car seat, forward-facing car seat, a booster seat, and the seat belt. It also gives a scale for age range. It's a really, really lovely resource. There's also a few things that I've pulled up here that include the CPS law brochure. You can find that at modot.org. And also helpful information, and this is also from the Department of Transportation, Highway Safety and Traffic Division. This is something I referenced earlier in the presentation, and this brochure can be accessed at their website, which is modot.org in our area. So thank you very much for joining us. I don't want to take much more of your time, and please share this with any parents that could utilize this resource. Thank you so much. Goodbye.